Good morning, everyone. Welcome to BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today it's time for Tech Life Weekly, where we talk to the tech divas about all the different things going on around the country and the universe regarding tech. I'm here with my friend and colleague, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. I'm Carolina from California Cover Ups, and we're the Biz Chicks. We want to welcome you to Tech Life Weekly. We usually like to start out with a little history. So, Fran, what do you have for us today?
I have a few things in light of the fact that this was a election season for
Mm,
primaries, things of that nature.
uh-huh.
On March 4th, 2007, the 2007 parliamentary elections held on Estonia on this day were the world's first nationwide election where voting was allowed over the internet.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Mhm. A little over 30,000 out of the 940,000 registered Estonian voters participated in internet voting that year, which was conducted from February 26th through the 28th prior to the election. Voters had to use their state issued ID and enter
Mm,
two passwords to cast their votes online. From the 3.4% of voters who voted over the internet in 2007, nearly 44% of Estonian voters did so in their 2019 elections. So, so it was 3.4 of the voters voted in 2007, and then nearly 44% did so in
wow,
2019.
that's a big jump.
hmm
Whew.
And I do believe that's coming here because I got something on the when I was reading through the ballot, they were talking about allowing you to vote online
Mm,
coming up.
interesting.
Very.
Oh my gosh. Since we trust all these systems now, they got us so.
Well, I mean, hopefully they're putting checks and balances in there. It will make it easier for people who can't get out.
Mhm.
I,
Or
I
people who
can,
are out of town.
right. You can just log in,
Mhm.
vote, and, they're really going to have to put some checks and balances in, though. We got people who are special and
Yes, we do.
that don't want to use their powers for good. March 5th, 1975, the Homebrew Computer Club holds its first meeting. Many people who played an important part in the early years of personal computer attended meetings of the Homebrew Computer Club during its history. Perhaps no meeting was more important than the one that took place almost exactly 1 year after the first. Steve Wozniak brought his design for what eventually would become the Apple I computer.
Mhm.
So this is an amateur computer users group.
Yes.
Um, that is just today is like your group, BizChicks group, or
Mhm.
any other type of group that are uh, kind of like a people with like minds. TJ has been talking to us about this, about it's going from social media is becoming media, and then the groups are now places where you would gather with other like-minded individuals,
Mhm.
people who are interested in what you have to say or you're interested in what they have to offer. And so this was the Homebrew Computer Club. And out of
Yes.
that came Apple computers.
Yep. It's just phenomenal, isn't it?
Right. So don't take your group that you're in lightly. We never know what might come out of there.
There you go. Good advice.
Sinclair ZX. 81 is launched, and this is March 5th, 1981. The successor to the ZX80 is launched in England, designed to be a low-cost introduction to home computing. The
Mm.
ZX81 was the first personal computer to be later sold in the United States for under $150.
Huh?
And back in 81, that was big because
Really?
computers were not under 150. Um, More than 1.5 million units were sold worldwide and created a lasting legacy among nascent programmers and early personal computer users. I do not remember this computer.
Mm-mm. Now, I remember studying about when I studied the history of computers. I remember this being mentioned, but yes.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So, March 5th, 1995, the Yahoo search engine officially launches on the internet. 13 months later, Yahoo will hold its IPO or initial public offering at a price of $13 per share. Yahoo stock will peak at $475
Oh my gosh.
per share in January 2000 and fall back to $8.02 in September 2001.
Hmm. Wow. Is that a swing? That's a swing.
That's a big swing. And that's your week in tech history. Well, I do have some other stories though, because
Hmm.
I know you're going to talk about some women who are making tech history um, just because it's Women History Month. So I'll let you do that on yours, on your.
Well, I'm not really talking about women. Well, I guess I am in
Yeah,
tech. Okay,
yeah.
go ahead.
So, a couple of stories that I saw on Tech Brew and that I thought were interesting. Uh, there are more than 15 undersea cables that run through the Red Sea, providing internet connectivity to Asia, the Middle East, and Europe. I did not know that.
I did not
Yeah,
know that either, which makes
no.
the Red Sea even more important.
Yes. And
I was just thinking of it as a sea lane and the different things that are going on over there, but now you throw in internet connection.
not to mention the chariot wheels and stuff that was still down there from other episode that happened. Um, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this correctly. Houthi rebels, Houthi rebels, were blamed for cutting 4 underwater cables,
Houthi,
disrupting
uh-huh,
Houthi.
uh-huh,
Okay,
Houthi rebels. They
Houthi
cut
rebels.
cables. Go ahead,
They
continue with
were
that
blamed
story.
for cutting 4 underwater cables, disrupting internet traffic across the world. The Houthis denied the allegation.
Mhm.
Somebody snitched them off, but okay. But I did not know that there were cables under the
I
Red
had
Sea.
no idea.
Mm-mm. Ta to TikTok. This is a question. One of the Tech Brew reporters says that if passed, a new national security bill would force app stores and web hosting companies to drop TikTok. The alternative, the viral video app would have to split off from its parent company, ByteDance, which has been labeled a national security risk. Where have we heard this before?
We've been talking about this for 2 years, right?
Yes. So what are you know?
When they took them off of government phones, remember?
hmm And I was like, okay, we've been so
We've been
now
messing around with this. Are we gonna do anything about it?
and we've been knowing this, and then Timu was caught up in that stuff too. Timu was found um, gathering data. I
Hmm.
mentioned it to somebody. They hurry up and took
Deleted it.
the Timu app off
Hmm.
of their phones. So sometimes when it's these prices are so low, it's so
When
good to
it's
be
too
true.
good to be true, it's probably not true.
Not. And I was like, "Ooh, like what's the catch? Why is this so low?"
There you go.
Well, the floor is all yours.
Okay. Oh, I just want to say that I want to share a couple of stories that I thought were interesting. And it is in honor of Women's History Month. We're going to start with this one. Okay. The untold story of women in tech. And they actually have audio to go with this. So I'm going to play this about Anna Rogue Dupre. I think you're going to find this interesting.
Okay. Now, are you playing it in your?
Hold on.
Oh, okay, because I just want to make sure that
I'm trying to see if this window, let me remove this and come back in because I don't think it's playing the way I wanted it to play. Okay, stop sharing. Just a second. Thank you for your patience.
no worries.
Mhm. Okay. All right, there it is. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to play it from here.
So we can't hear it.
Okay. Can you hear it now?
No.
Oh, okay, then I'm going to read it. Hold on. Let me stop. Okay, so let's go back and I'll just read it to you.
You can leave the picture up though.
Yeah, but I've got to get there first.
Oh,
Okay, there she is. Can you see the picture?
yes.
Okay, Anna Dupre was born in Puerto Rico in 1853. She started a school in her home at the age of 13 and wrote a geography textbook for her students, which was later adopted by the Department of Education in Puerto Rico. Roque had a passion for astronomy and education, founding several girls only schools, as well as the College of, I can't pronounce that,
My guess.
thank you, which later became the Maya Gayas campus of the University of Puerto Rico. Roque wrote The Botany of the Antilles, the most comprehensive study of flora in the Caribbean at the beginning of the 20th century. She was also instrumental in the fight for the Puerto Rican women's right to vote. Um, this is commentary from the Francis A. Colon, Deputy Science and Technology Advisor to the Secretary of State of the United States Department of State. And I just found that these women were outstanding. There's another lady that I want to share with you. Can you see that, Lillian?
Yes, Gilbreth.
Yes. Lillian Gilbreth was an American psychologist and industrial engineer at the time of the 20th at the turn of the 20th century. She was an expert in efficiency and organizational psychology, the principles of which she applied not only as a management consultant for major corporations, but also to her household of, are you ready for this? 12 children. Well, all this was she becoming an engineer. She had 12 children as chronicled in the book Cheaper by the Dozen. Her long list of firsts include first female commencement speaker at the University of California, first female engineer professor at Purdue, and first woman elected to the National Academy of Engineering.
Mm.
I'm telling you, we are phenomenal. We can just do all kinds of amazing things. And I just wanted to share that to let people know that we have been in this industry well before we were written about, thought about, or acknowledged.
Right. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, making strides in the industry, you know.
The fact that the Puerto Rican botanist, her book wasn't published because it didn't have the same content as the books that had been written by males at the time. We're talking 1900.
Wow.
I know, I know. And
There are,
and
go ahead.
how about this woman becoming an engineer while navigating a household of 12 kids?
12. Okay.
12.
There are people who have issues with one.
Okay. All right.
I don't know what to do. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, of course she was an organizational genius. So field of study. Oh my gosh. Thank God somebody was organized.
Mm.
So I wanted to share those two women with you, not to belabor the point. And then I want to talk about what's going on with the TSA. The,
Uh-oh.
uh-huh. The TSA has come up with more automation.
Oh.
With more automation to help get you through the line quicker. And so I believe there was a let me see if I can find the video. There was an article about it on ABC, and I wanted to share that. Let's see if we can get this teed up here.
Is expected its busiest spring break travel period ever, but there could be a future where you don't interact with an agent at the airport. Self-security check is being tested in Las Vegas, and transportation correspondent Gio Benitez was one of the first to try it. Good morning, Gio.
Hey, Michael, good morning. It's pretty cool. This is a groundbreaking test here in Vegas. And again, this is just a test, but the rules are the same. This is essentially a security self-checkout here at the TSA line. So the rules are the same. You got to put everything in that you'd always put in, but you do it all yourself. So as I go ahead and get into this body scanner here, why don't you go ahead and check this out?
What you're about to see may be a game changer for TSA, and I'm one of the first to try it.
Okay, so I'm approaching the self-service screening lane, and this is the first time that I'm going to be using this, and there are a bunch of sensors all over, so that's the first thing you notice.
But like so many of us, I've got questions. The TSA officers aren't gone here, they're just somewhere else.
Since I don't know too much here, I'm going to hit need help, because this is essentially a sort of FaceTime call with an agent. Hi.
Hello, how may I assist you?
Hi, so this is my first time using this, so is there anything I need to know about my shoes or the bag?
Yes, so since you have pre-check, you may keep your shoes on, but make sure you grab one of the trays that are located next to you.
I send my bag through the scanner and put myself through one too.
Okay, so this is different. The scanner has all this glass here, so we're going to get in here. Oh, and it shows you that you have to stand differently. So here we go. So it's telling me, okay, there we go. You have to stand in a certain position. Okay, it's realizing that I have my microphone on. So I'm going to have to take the microphone off and do this again without the mic.
Once the machine clears me, I get my bag and I'm on my way.
It's really very minimal contact with just about anybody.
It definitely takes some getting used to and may slow you down at first. But Christina Peach, who runs this program, says that's exactly why they need to test it.
I'm hoping for a lot of feedback, and that's really what's going to help us.
Even if it's negative feedback.
Even the negative feedback, because you're always going to get a little bit of both.
But some may wonder, is this a way to cut down on TSA officers? Christina says absolutely not.
We will always have officers. They're the most important part of any of our systems, but we will be reallocating them to busier aspects of the screening process.
Officers like Heike Doyle, who you met on that screen.
Most calls are taking maybe 15 to 20 seconds.
And Officer Ken Nix, who says he's ready to help in person.
For the most part, you're just stepping back and watching it all happen.
That's right. Just making sure that we're following through all the security measures that are needed to ensure safe travels.
So again, this is just a test only here in Vegas. Right now, this is not launching at other airports just yet. The TSA knows that it's not ready for prime time just yet. That's why they want to go ahead and test it out. But if you are flying through Vegas, you're quite literally are going to be helping develop the future of airport security. And I want to show you this. This is another feature here. You know how usually, the carts here, they usually go ahead, the trays, they end up over there to get cleaned and all that, and you leave something behind. Here, this is telling you that I left an iPad behind, so it's making sure that I know to grab it before this continue on and I continue on my journey, guys.
Beep, beep, beep. Don't leave your iPad.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's a good thing. It reminds me of the grocery store self-checkout where the guys, the attendant and standing there watching everything. And while the groceries, you're scanning your groceries. And it may get like Amazon where you just walk out and
So I didn't see the whole thing. Are people mad at it or
No, they're
No.
just testing it out in
Oh,
Vegas.
okay.
Where it's
I'm all for
total
self-checkout and everything.
for
Right.
the TSA. So I
Right.
think what we're going to find is it'll start probably over there at TSA and then become mainstream. You probably have to pay $10 extra or something if you want to skip the line and go through the self-check or something. They're finding ways to make fees off of everything. So
Right, Mark was saying, let's find more ways to employ less people, save money, and pretend that it's for your convenience. However, Mark, they are not, as she stated in there, they're not getting rid of the TSAs. They're just assigning them to a different location.
Yeah, it's like the banks. You have ATM machines. You want to deal with the ATM, but you want to go in and wait in a long line and talk to a human. That option is there. So
well, I think this is even different from that in that you can decide if you want to talk to a human or not.
Right.
But it's
but that's what I mean. When you go to the bank, do it's not
It's the
just
same
ATM.
line. And so they have these screens up along the line so that if because it's new, you may have questions. Well, you can FaceTime with the person. They're just in a different room. They're not standing. You know how they had them behind the machines, TJ?
Yes.
They're not standing there. They are in another room actually taking video calls.
You know where this is going to, where you get a tattoo or a chip on your hand and you just, who was that did that? That was pay with your palm. Was it PayPal? Somebody did a pay with your palm, or is it Amazon? Somebody, and you pay with your palm.
I remember that, but I can't remember.
I don't remember who it was. I love stuff like that because I'm like, I don't want to wait when I go, and I'm sorry, but people in line and they're watching the people. I understand watching the cashier do whatever, but then they go, oh, I gotta pay, and they start fumbling in their bag or they start fumbling. I don't get that.
Amazon did have the pay and go thing where you swipe your palm.
Yes, but there was something with a palm where you swipe your palm on everything.
Exactly, in their stores.
And I'm just saying that's going to be a thing because anything that has to do with convenience and human and giving us more time, it's going to happen. Because I had the same argument before the pandemic with people when Amazon Fresh first started. And I said, this is going to be a game changer. And they were like, oh, I'm never going to use Amazon. I'm not having my groceries delivered. I'm going to the grocery store. And then the pandemic hit. And then now you see the benefit of, okay, I ordered the groceries and it comes to my house.
I think we did a story like about 5 years ago about people playing with their palm on the bus in Amsterdam. Yeah,
because they had the little rice chip in their hand, and that's how they went to work. And
or it could be a tattoo, or it could be a Band-Aid, it could be something. It's a wearable.
It could be a QR code. Yeah,
I'd rather have the wearable.
Right. It could be a wearable, something you peel on and off like a bed. It's going to be a thing. I'm just telling you, I feel that because it is safe. It's convenience. You ride the bus. Amazon. Yes.
Mark
Amazon
said
was
it was
doing it.
right.
Thank you, Mark.
And yeah.
It's just
It's
you won't need a phone. You won't need a phone because you leave the phone home. You forget the phone. I've left several times to go this and I was like, oh, left my phone or I left my wallet. I got to come back. But if you got this, are you leaving this behind?
There's a story. There's a story out. The New York Times has a story out where the young people says wallets are uncool. They want you to use. They want you to use digital wallet. They're like the wallet that you know. So now the wallet makers who have the Gucci and they better figure out another thing to do because the young people do not want to have a wallet.
Pulling out a wallet.
If they were smart, they would get on the bandwagon of the peelable Band-Aid, and that could be Gucci or whatever, or the thing that replaces the wallet. So they should be there and doing it themselves first. Oh, let's forward think and say, hey, Gen Z doesn't like a wallet. Let's make a wearable wallet or this wallet. Somebody should be thinking of these things. I don't know why they're not.
Because they didn't invest in any research and development.
Have you? Okay, so this is a sidetrack just a little bit with the people. Mark is funny. He said, "How much?" Talk to the hand. Remember, there's this commercial by Lumi, I believe it is, and it's deodorant that's for all of your body.
Oh my gosh! Yes. What about it?
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's a commercial. Anyway, it's for pits and parts and all kind of it's for the entire body, right?
Yeah.
So the question becomes, how come Secret, Right Guard, and everybody else didn't come up with that?
I'll tell you why. Because they're not forward think. They don't have forward thinking people in the organization. They don't have young people working for them. They are stuck in. We have X amount of market share, and we're good. No matter that you see a flying saucer or a flying car coming at you, going, "Oh well, that's not us. We have this much of the market share today." But you have to look at what's coming. That's why I always talk about Gen Z. They're going to change the way that we do things. They don't like wallets. They don't want a car. They don't want a big screen TV.
Don't we always want to be moving ahead?
Not some people. They're stuck in their ways.
So they're in that status quo. So
they're
now,
happy.
okay, so now that company is out doing deodorant for whole body deodorant, all of a sudden Secret has all body deodorant. I was like, y'all are slow.
Yeah, it's the same thing. The black hair care market from women, it was like that years ago. That all of these lines were not doing stuff for natural hair, curly hair, whatever. And then these women came along who figured out this, that, and the other. And they had communities online. There was a lot of hair communities. And I remember one lady from the UK years ago, she started a line, and it was for natural hair, curly hair, and she formulated it herself. And it started. I think people from the hair care company started hanging out on these lines and going, what is this? What is that? So they took the knowledge that they had built up, these women, and used it to something's in my face, build up a natural. So that's why today you see all of these natural hair care lines, because they went and took the discussions and everything that was happening and said, okay, now we'll do it. A big company will do it. And then they bought like Carol's Daughter and the other companies, but they changed the formula, and you made the original users unhappy because it doesn't work anymore. They wanted it because it worked on their hair, which is different from other hair.
Yes.
You have to acknowledge that difference.
Right.
So they came in and changed the formula. So the customers are like, we don't like that anymore. We're not going to buy it.
Why would you buy something that doesn't work?
It's because they bought the company for
I'm talking about as a consumer.
Right. I'm not going to use it because if I was using Carol's Daughter from 20 years ago when she first started, and then Procter & Gamble, I'm just throwing out a company. I don't know who bought them. Procter & Gamble bought them. Seeing the value of that community and of the sales and everything, they buy it and they go, okay, well, they use argan oil or whatever oil. It's too expensive. We're going to use canola oil that you get off the grocery store. That doesn't work.
The same.
They don't care, but see, they don't care. They thought they bought something that was a money maker, but they changed the money. They bought the golden goose and changed the goose. And the eggs came out different, and they go, "Well, what happened?"
They replaced the goose with a duck.
Yes, because they bought the company and going, well, okay, we got to streamline this thing. We got to cut the cost because we want the maximum out of the orange. They want to squeeze the most out of the orange, and I understand it as a business. You want to do that, but then where do you go when you alienate the customer? And we talked about that a long time ago about alienating the core customer. And they do it all the time. Look at Bud Light.
Yeah, we ain't heard from them in a minute. They still have Bud Light has not made a resurgence.
They still, but that's what happens. So,
wow. So that's what I wanted
Mark
to share
says.
today. I said, so that's what I wanted to share today. The whole thing of automating the system even more, TSA, and the fact that these women have been in the STEM industry well before the 1900s, and some of them, while nurturing more than 11 children.
Kids. Yes. She had 12 kids and working the system. I was like,
as an engineer. There you go.
Somebody need to drink to her because I'm like 12 kids and she's
12 kids is an accomplishment in and of itself.
Okay. And that means you have to be an engineer. She had the skill sets to organize.
She was an organizational and efficiency expert. No kidding. Oh my gosh. So that's it for me today.
Thank you. Well, TJ, let us know when you are ready.
I'm just double check. Is one thing that we can. Let me make sure that I got everything because something happened today.
Oh, okay.
I'll make sure.
Okay, so while she's talking about that, did the outage last? Who was that was out last week? Was it AT&T that was down, or?
Well, AT&T was down. Yeah.
Okay, and
last week,
right? And did somebody also? Either there was a breach, something was down, something was happening in last.
Well, Facebook and Meta and stuff was down. I was going to talk about that.
Meta was down.
Yeah,
Meta was down on Tuesday when we tried.
On election day, yeah,
it was down. Now, did they take it down?
Last week, AT&T was out. AT&T, the whole cell phone was down.
Yeah, the whole system was down.
Yeah. Okay, I think I got it.
Okay.
I think I got everything. All right. So this week of social media news and updates. Let's start with Meta. Let's start with Meta. So Facebook, Instagram, and Threads were all down. It was a massive Meta outage, and it was on Super Tuesday, which I didn't realize. I was like, "Oh, it's Super Tuesday." So they're saying that it was a forced log out situation, which is something happened, and they forced everybody out of the system. Like they booted them out, and if you were logged in, you weren't logged in anymore. And then I said on Tuesday, because I posted something, and then I was going to go back and change it, and then I went, why was it asking me to log in? So I went to my iPad. Why was it asking me? It was asking me to log in so what it did is it's called a forced log out situation. And because it's highly unusual for Meta to have a widespread outage like this, because they have redundancy things in place.
Mm-hmm.
So, and because it was Super Tuesday, they're saying that something may have happened, and this was like the kill switch. You know, there's the red button.
Yeah.
So something activated the red button at Meta, something big. So it was Super Tuesday. So people are saying like, okay, Super Tuesday. How do people get information today? They're getting ready to vote. How do they get information today? Do they turn on the TV?
No,
not really. Do they look at the newspaper? Not really.
What newspaper?
You pull out your phone and go, okay, let me find out X, Y, Z.
Where's my polling place? Where's my what time do they open and close?
All of that.
Questions we ask, you know.
All of that. So the Meta outage, the kill switch, the you know, when you watch TV, the alarm bells, the doomsday button went off. And they're not going to tell us why. But that's what happened. Something happened to activate the kill switch, because I heard people online were like, oh, they were changing their password like 50 million times, and they were trying to get in 50. I was like, as soon as I saw like I couldn't log in anywhere, I was like, okay,
something's up.
I just went about my business, and we got ready for Tuesday, and we started talking on Tuesday. But there are some people that couldn't do that. And I said on Tuesday that this is why you have a landline. This is why you have email. This is why you have SMS, something that you own. And not to say that those systems can't break. They can. Every system, everything that is electronic can break. A car can break. You can have you can have, what's the best car? Volvo, Subaru, the one that's more reliable. It's mechanical. It's electronic. Is computer systems, they all fail. So you can't have 100% uptime all the time. But Meta had gotten good at, because remember back in the day, 10 years, maybe the Twitter went down, they had to fail well all the time. Facebook used to go down all the time, but they put systems into where they fixed that. So what happened on this week was, okay, something in the background triggered the doomsday device. They kicked everybody out.
Yeah.
So that's what happened.
While you're on Meta, I've been getting notifications, and so I'm asking this, so maybe somebody else was having it too. I've been getting notifications on my email saying, somebody or you were trying to get into your Facebook account. And I'm not trying to get into my Facebook account. And so I went, and this was an email that came in. And so I went to the first thing I always do is find out who it came from. Right. I will go and like, okay, I don't think Facebook has anything called Facebook Mail.
No.
I didn't think so. So I'm like, okay, one, I'm not opening that.
Right.
2, I shall delete it. And 3, here's the other thing. They were sending it to my real estate email, which I know is not a part of my Facebook login.
Yeah. So phishing, trying to get in, trying to hack, take your pick. Meta and as far as like this is not email, but Messenger is always sending me messages on, because I manage a lot of pages. I'm always getting, it says this is Facebook, if you don't log in, we're going to deactivate your page, all kind of crazy stuff. And I just ignore it. But I have some clients that go, I'm like, listen, just ignore that message. Spam is trying, okay, the criminals trying to get in your house any way they can. They got a screwdriver, they got a drill, they got kicking it in, all of those things. They're testing the knob, they're looking in all of those things to get in. So now, if you have a lock called 2-factor authentication, you're good.
Right. And I have that. So this is what they said. Hi, Francine. We received a request to reset your Facebook password. Enter the following password reset code. Alternatively, you can directly change your password. And then they give you this big blue button to change your password. Didn't request this change. If you didn't request a new password, let us know. And I'm like, y'all lying, because I never have anything. My Facebook account is not set up with my real estate password. I mean, my real estate email address. I was like,
that's another good example. No one will ask you to reset your password out of the blue unless you request it. You have to request it. You ever see that little button that says forgot password? That's you asking to reset it. They would never send you a thing saying reset your password unless it was, I'm trying to think of something that would, but they would send you a code. They would send you a phone code, or they would send you a code to verify.
And codes are not normally 8 digits.
Right.
Oh, no. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So just realize that Facebook Meta is the biggest planet out there. It's the biggest target. People attack it more than they do, say, Snapchat.
Right.
3 billion people. That's a big planet. So scammers gonna scam.
And what I did was I blocked them, and so now they're coming with a different email.
They're coming around us. They come through the front door. They're trying to come through the side window. They're trying to come through the back window. They're jumping on the roof. They're trying to come down the chimney. Any way they can get in. They're looking for vulnerabilities. They're looking for openings.
Right. And I want to tell everybody, it looks legit. It has Facebook's colors.
Yeah, they all look legit. But you did the first thing was you checked the email. You checked the because in the email there's details in the header, and you click that and it shows you exactly who it's coming from. No matter what it says, the name says Facebook, but you click it and you see the email and it'll be something weird, like 567 Facebook user or something.
Right.
Like, no, that's not Facebook.
Yeah, but see, this says security@facebookmail.com. I know Facebook would not do that.
But see, they write the name to fool you, because you're so you're rushed, you're busy, you're this, you're that. You're like, okay, Facebook, and you just do what it says automatically by rote, and we should not do that. Like you stop and say, wait a minute, this doesn't look right. Let me look at the email. And the email said, oops, red flag. Then they ask for detail. They ask you to change your red flags. No, that's not how it works. Mark put up a joke. You see it?
Let me see. Mark has got jokes.
Yeah, I'll put it up. Said, Francine, your bank access has been corrupted. I need for you to change your password and give it to me along with your Social Security charge, PIN, mother's maiden name, child's birth date, all kind of stuff. Do not give out information.
None.
You don't, you know how you go shopping and they ask you, oh, give us you don't have to give out a thing. You can say no thanks. Yeah, unless it's the government asks you for something and it's like, okay, well, we got to go further, we need your Social Security number, but it's the government. Like, it's the government. Okay, you give that up. But anybody else, Social Security number, no ma'am, no sir. You don't get that. You don't get that. What you need my birthday to send me okay, that's nice. Yeah, you want to send me a birthday greeting, but I don't give out my birthday. Once you keep those things, that data close to you, you have another level of protection and security and feeling protected. Along with the two-factor authentication, along with using like LastPass, or none of these are guaranteed, but I'm just saying you put a lock and you put 3 locks instead of 1. That's what you do. And yes, it is annoying. I agree. It's annoying. Every time it asks me to that 2-factor, I gotta go and pull up my phone. And where's my phone? I gotta go to the thing, get the code. And sometimes the copy and paste doesn't work. Then I gotta type it in. But those are things like when you come in your house from work, or you coming in or leaving, you lock it and unlock it. And if you got 3 locks, you gotta unlock or lock 3 locks. But that's your level of security. So these are things that we have to do. And we can't say, oh, the government should do it and somebody should. Yes, somebody should. Yes. Somebody should. But there's a bigger fight going on. And that might be the thing that's at the bottom of the list for the government, not the top.
Mark said, I'll accept any birthday greetings that say happy 30th.
Me too. All right. So Facebook, Instagram, Threads, WhatsApp, Messenger, all that stuff was down. People were losing their mind, tearing out their hair. I was relaxing and chilling, going, ooh, ooh, ooh. It'll be back up.
Mm-hmm.
What can you do? All right, so let's talk more about Instagram. Instagram is now letting you edit DMs, direct messages, up to 15 minutes after sending them. So they're allowing you to, because that's the thing that everybody wants. Oh, I want an edit button. I sent something by mistake. And they don't want to delete. They want to edit whatever it is. So they're saying that they're giving that to Instagram is giving that to you for up to 15 minutes. You can also get the option to pin up to 3 messaging threads to the top of an inbox. Why? I don't know. But that option is there. So to edit a message, you press and hold it, and then you choose edit. Once you edit the message, you'll get once you edit the message, the purple text bubble will have an edited label on top of it to notify the other person that the message has been changed. So once you edit things on, and I've seen this on other apps, it will say edited. So that's something that people have to live with. And also the option to pin a chat to the top of your inbox, you'll be able to do so by swiping left or tapping and holding on the chat. Then you tap pin. You can choose to unpin a thread at any time. And they're saying it's to quickly access the chats that you visit often, but to remind yourself to come back to a specific conversation at a later time. So it's like a star, or you're marking it to come back to later. But this is in your inbox. Okay, so that's Instagram. One more for Instagram. There's a hidden game in your Instagram DMs. Do you know that? There's a game there.
Okay,
Should
we
we
didn't
try
like
it out
the game.
now?
No, okay, fine. We didn't like the games when they were on Facebook. Why would we
All
like
right,
these?
so this is how it works. I'm going to Instagram and I have to DM somebody.
Okay, DM me. I got my phone out.
Let me go. Okay, so I'll go to my yep. Where's my DMs? Lordy. Here we go. I'm like, where are the DMs? Okay, Francine Gregory. And then I go, and then what I do is I send any emoji. One emoji. And then I tap on the emoji and I go into the game. I don't know if you can see it because it's yellow. So see that? Yeah, I didn't play the game. But it's like Pong. There's a little thing at the bottom that you have to hit the emoji and have it go up, and you play.
So the only way for me to play the game is that I have
send
to
me an emoji. Yeah, send me one. Just one emoji. Don't say anything. Okay, and when you tap it, you can play. And I tap it, I can play.
Okay, hold on a minute.
And it's yellow, so it's like, see, and I didn't play it, so it's like real quick. Why?
I don't know, because it ain't.
Instagram wants to keep you in the app and have a little fun, and while you're in there, your notifications pop up from another DM, or somebody went live, or somebody that you've marked as a favorite has posted a message, and you go over and you read their post, you read their story, you're doing something, you're staying in.
Okay,
you're trapped. You're trapped. Now this only works, and you have to tell the person, you can't, you could send them an emoji and they're gonna go, what is that? And then you tell them tap it and you play a game if you want to do that. And you don't have to do that. So this is a hidden game that Instagram put in. Why? Because it's fun. They want to make Instagram feel more fun. That was the quote that TechCrunch asked them what this was for. And they replied, to make Instagram feel more fun. They're always working on new ways to do this. They could say that they want you to stay in the app. Okay, do you remember? I don't know if the game is still there because this was like, I don't use Facebook like this, but Facebook had a game called Farmville or something.
Yeah,
These games. Remember, you played the game and you sent your friends notices and stuff. That's to keep you in the game. I mean, in the app. So you looking at things, you're looking at ads, you're looking at, something pops up and rabbit or not rabbit, squirrel, and you're off to the races to look at whatever the little thing is to get your attention.
TJ, question, wasn't there a privacy concern with Farmville, or am I wrong?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm trying to remember because I got so annoyed with people sending me things. I didn't even really play it at all, but I think it did.
Either. But I was tired of, don't know. I'm not giving you a piece of corn or whatever the stupid thing is. But yeah, I don't know why I remembered, and I could be wrong.
No, you're probably right. But I just brought up Farmville to say that, that was, some people use social media for fun and games, and that's fine. But just be on the lookout for, if you get an emoji for somebody, they don't tell you, you a DM, and they're saying that you're supposed to tell people. But that's how you activate the hidden game.
Mark's comment, he says, here's what I've always thought is a big miss. IG should offer an upgrade for a tiny bit per month that enables active links in your posts. And if you want, and then he says, if you want to make IG more fun, design the game with a cash or gift card payout.
Well, see, the thing about the reason why, and this is a big complaint, why Instagram only has the link in bio and not in the post, because Instagram is not stupid. They know if they put a link in a post, you're off to the races. And what does that mean? You are now leaving the app.
Right, and then you're not paying them ad money.
That's a no. Instagram says, "Oh no, you are not leaving this app."
You said, Terry, that's a no.
That's a no.
You are under house arrest.
No.
You are in the California hotel.
Wear this ankle bracelet.
Even if they thought about like putting it part of Meta Verified or whatever, that's not what they want. Even though they would get the $14.99 or however much it is a month, they don't want that because they make much more than $14.99 with ads.
All right, I guess
millions an hour.
I guess I'm not worthy to play this game. So I sent you a emoji and sent one to Mark, and when I push it, I do not get a game. So therefore, I'm good.
So when you tapped it, you didn't get a game. Okay, so then let's bring this up. It says, although the game works on both iOS and Android, unfortunately, not everyone has access to it.
Oh, I'm not worthy. That's what it is. Okay.
Is another thing. I never get the stuff that's testing. I was surprised that it worked, but this is what they're doing. They're hidden the game. They're not announcing it. TechCrunch had to reach out to them, and they said, "Oh, it's a hidden game," and and everybody doesn't have access to it. Okay, fine.
But I did see where you can pin to something. I saw that where you can pin something.
You pin now that one I didn't test. You pin a message to the top of your inbox by swiping.
Yeah, okay.
I think by swiping. What did it say here? Because I didn't test it.
Well, I saw it where it said you can do something.
Swiping left or tapping and holding on the chat, then tapping pin. Okay, tap and hold. I don't have it.
Whatever.
I don't have it. It's supposed to be a pin, PIN option. So, but, and again, some of this is probably for people inbox who they get millions and somebody like Gary Vee or somebody gets all those messages and they get one from someone they really want to respond to and they pin it to the top. I don't have that problem.
Apparently I'm not worthy of that one either.
I don't have that problem. Gary does, and people like that, they have that option. So that is what is going on with Meta. One more from Threads. Threads now lets all users save drafts and take photos within the app. So in Threads, they're rolling out the ability to users to save a draft and take photos within the app. I didn't see an option for drafts. Again, this could be rolling out however Threads wants to do it. So they're saying that it's designed to make it easier to share your ideas on the fly. The official rollout comes to, okay. They're saying, okay, that's the official rollout. So they're saying also the ability to take pictures within the app. You can do so by clicking the camera icon in the composer. Once you take a photo, you can choose to share it or retake it. There'll be a shortcut, makes it easier to share photos in the moment and removes the need to first use your device camera app to take a photo and then attach it to a Threads post via your camera roll. So you know, it's right inside of the app. You don't have to go outside. So it's, a shortcut. And there's also supposed to be a gesture that lets you quickly like or hide a post. Swipe right to like or swipe left to hide. And this only works in the For You tab. Again, I tried that. I don't have it. So some of these things are for certain people. Some of these are to come. I didn't have a swipe left or a swipe right. So I was trying to figure out how to do it, but I don't have it. So I only have the little hidden game, which I was surprised to see because it's not available. All right, so that's Meta. Let's move on. Did we talk about well, I don't know. We don't have to really Substack. So, Substack has a DM feature. I don't know if I mentioned it last week. I might have. Substack.
I use Substack.
Yeah, so it has a DM feature now. So they're adding, Substack is one of those apps that they're adding things in again to keep you in the app. So you read more newsletters, you see something you like, you sign up, you subscribe, and it's either free or paid, and they want you to do the paid, and all of this is they don't have ads yet, I don't believe, but
they do not have ads, but they help you, like you want to monetize your content. They help you to do that.
Right, but I'm saying expect ads at some point. Because that's how they make we talk about how Netflix didn't want ads and now they're talking about ads. Hulu, the ads, and because they make so much money versus a subscription-based model. Yes, they make money with the subscription, but they make more with an ad. So that's why I say expect it soon from Substack.
Sorry. With the subscription model, I think people have to understand you are at the mercy of people who can decide tomorrow they no longer need that subscription. And it ties directly to when there are economic crises, when the economy is bad, etc. So yeah, when times are good and the manna is falling from the sky and it's the land of milk and honey, yeah, a subscription can be a great thing. Subscription boxes, subscription oatmeal, whatever the hell you like. However, when times are bad, it's not the greatest thing. So I think that nothing wrong with having a subscription. I think there will always be a contingency of people who will subscribe to things, but that cannot be your only strategy. You have to.
You're right.
I mean, it's inevitable that ad dollars will be part of whatever strategy it is. And so I think for most companies, media, etc., it is going to be a multi-pronged approach to revenue. It is no longer just, oh, I can make all money off of subscriptions. Netflix showed us how foolish that was, as did Disney, etc. It's no longer an only, oh, well, we can support ourselves through ads, and most people can, but there are other things as well. So I think the future of monetization is multi-pronged. It is not just one thing. I rest my mic.
You're absolutely 100% right. You're right. And the Netflix was the example because it was like Netflix, no ads, and you pay this, and now it's like, okay, well, we're not making as much as we, Hulu is raking in the money. Hulu has those different levels, and ad free and this ad and that, and they're like making money, and Netflix is over there like, wait a minute, let's get some of that. Meta's the opposite. Meta was all ads or it's free, but now they're like, okay, wait a minute. If we offer premium features in their mind, premium features and charge, that's extra, that's icing on the ad cake. That's icing. So you're right. It's going to be multi-pronged hybrid, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. That's why it's a Substack. Expect it. Not maybe in a year or so, but it's going to be on their mind. And I said this about what app was it that was so proud? We're not running ads and we're not asking for money. What app was that?
Was that Be Live?
Be Live, Be Real, Be Something, Be Gone. Where is it? Seriously, where is it?
It's gone.
It was hot for a moment.
You know what happened? I'm sorry, not to
No,
interrupt.
go ahead. No, let's talk about it.
So I think the thing that happens is all of these founders of these app and tech companies, they have a series of funding, Series A funding, Series B funding, and they think if they see all this money, oh well, we've been able to raise 17 million. 17 million is really not a lot, because the moment you spend $1, now you've got 16,900,000. You see what I'm saying? So
you burn through it quickly.
You burn through it so quickly, especially if there is no plan. So it's like if you don't have a plan for monetization, really quickly, it's like 2 million gone on this, 2 million, and you haven't even thought about paying out creators or paying out people using the app for something, whatever the case may be. So you can burn through it really quickly. And I think that some of these founders see this cash, this immediate cash in these initial rounds of funding, and they're like, oh, we're good. We were able to raise X, Y, Z. But if there's no plan for it to come in, that's where you run into problems. That's why I'm still surprised Clubhouse is.
It's still a thing? It's still
people are still there, it's still around, but I'm surprised because, a lot of the initial was dependent on these rounds of funding that they were doing. And there was no monetization plan that I could see built in.
Right. I agree with you. I agree that, and I say this, that ads are part of the experience because we're used to the ads. We don't like the ads, but we're used to the ads because of TV. You're used to the ads. You're used to it. You watch is it Peacock and different ones, and they have the ads, and they're like, oh, you gotta turn off your ad blocker. And I'm like, no thanks, I'll leave, because I'm like, I'm not turning off my ad blocker to watch 12 ads.
No, exactly. But you know what? Back in the day, ads used to be good.
Yes.
Ad agencies used to take pride in creating creative and innovative ads. This is why we can still say things like, you deserve a break today, from the old school McDonald's. Where's the beef with Wendy's? Have a Coke and a smile, because they really turned these things into mini movies, and you didn't mind watching them. Plus, it's like you didn't really have a choice, right? So that's what you were going to do. So now they're going back to where we don't have a choice, but you're giving us less creative ads. I don't want to see all these pharmaceutical ads which are not creative, and they're like a dime a dozen. Ask your doctor about not dying. Let's not do it, okay?
So they, instead of doing one of those great ads like where's the beef and stuff like that, they do 15 crappy ones. Like, it's like, oh, we're gonna put these bad ads, like boom, boom, boom. I'm like, 17 ads, 6 ads, stuff. Give me one great one, and you go, wow.
In I don't know about the UK, but in New Zealand and Australia, those pharmaceutical ads are illegal. You cannot do that.
Yep. You can't do that.
I didn't know that.
Can't.
Yeah, they just pushing stuff on us over here.
So that's why I say Substack, it's a great app. I use it. I went in today, and they're adding the DM feature, and they're going to add in other features. But subscription model, like Dr. Tati said, is great. But what's the first thing when a lot of job layoffs are happening in tech and other places, or the first thing to go? Well, I can't have that subscription. Bloop. Because it was a nice to have, but it's not a need. So bloop. There's the churn. And so Substack is going to be feeling it going, wait a minute. Let's throw some ads in here. That's guaranteed money. Look at YouTube.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, and YouTube got game. So if you have your YouTube subscription and it time, or you don't renew it or whatever because it's every month, when you go back in there, it will go from the $13.99 to $18.99.
Yeah, they're like, oh no, yesterday's price, not today's price.
I was like, oh,
Nope. And I'm not, these things are not great. It's just they figured out social media corporations. It used to be, fun and charity and sharing information. Yes, that's great. Meta and all these guys are corporations and they gotta make money. How do you make it? Subscriptions and ads, a combination of both. So
I'd like to say something about, because I have a subscription for YouTube ads to be not on my stuff. I was like, I cannot go back to watching ads. I couldn't do it. I was like, this is brutal and painful, because you're watching something and then right in the midst of something, then they stop, and then you can't skip past the commercials on YouTube anymore.
Nope.
And here's the thing. What they've started doing is having longer and longer ad breaks. So before you can actually skip, there's like 17 seconds in some cases before, and which will give you like 4 commercials before you can actually skip to the ad. And here's the thing. There was a free trial for YouTube Plus that was like for 3 months. It's like, you want to try? I'm like, okay, I'm not keeping it, but I'll try it. And then I realized when I came back how many more commercials.
Yeah, you're like, wait a minute.
I'm like, wait a minute. It was like before it was 5 seconds and I could skip. What happened? So, it's interesting to note that, but I still can't get myself to pay for YouTube. So I just let that lapse. But it's interesting, Fran, that you brought that up, because, you do notice how many ads are actually there. And it would be one thing if it was at an opportune time where the creator kind of had a say in terms of where it is. They'll be talking, and then it will just be in the middle of a thought.
I agree with you. Whenever I see they ask me, oh, you want to try out 3 months? I go, yeah. I tried it 3 months. I'm like, I'm gone. And then every time I go back in, there's like, oh, do you want to renew? I'm like, nope, I'm good. But I would love, it's a great thing to not have the ads. And you're right. Once you come out of it and you see all the ads, you're like, whoa, wait a minute. These ads. But here we are. Maybe we'll get to the tipping point where it'll be too many ads and people just go, okay, I'm not gonna watch YouTube at all. I don't know if that would happen, but and what would they do? I don't know, but it's an ad world. So Netflix is looking at ads. You know what time it is, because Netflix started out as you pay this fee, you get no ads, and you watch. And they're even starting to go, okay, well, maybe we should go back to serial format where it's like everything is released, and instead of it being released all at once, it's like, okay, well, we're going to do this week by week or whatever. I'm like, wait a minute.
No. Give us the binge factor. You got us used to being binged. And then now don't take that, because I don't want
back on their promises.
I think what is it, Death in Paradise and some other stuff I watch on BritBox, they are dripping them out, and I'm just like, will y'all just please
I don't want drip.
I don't like drip.
Me either. But they're trying everything to keep us watching, keep you watching. So we'll see. Let's move on to TikTok. TikTok says its revamped creator fund has increased has increased total creator revenue by over 250%. So they're saying in the last 6 months they've seen the increase in total creator revenue by over 250%. They're saying this fund, which launched a year ago, it replaced the original creator fund, the 1 billion one, where they were like, okay, we're giving out too much money. So now they're saying that it was called the creator program, because I'm not in it, so I don't even pay attention to it, but I thought this was interesting to talk about. It was called the creativity program, and they're taking it out of beta. It's now being renamed to the creator rewards program. And they're saying since rolling out longer videos, TikTok says users are spending 50% of their time watching longer content, while viewership of longer videos has increased nearly 40% over the last 6 months. So they have revamped this fund because TikTok users were complaining about the low payouts. And yeah, TikTok is not going to give you a whole bunch of money. And we talked about that. Where you're making content for them, they're going to give you pennies. When you make content for yourself, you can get dollars if you have it set up right, have your system and everything. And so they were talking in this article about TikTok being compared to YouTube, a reason why TikTok is moving to longer videos. And because longer videos means more people watching for longer, and we can serve you more ads. We just finished talking about that. And also, TikTok is offering non-live creators a new way to engage with their viewers through exclusive content and perks. TikTok will make it available to creators on an invite-only basis, where you can get your followers to subscribe to you, and you offer them perks for non-lives. Because I think what it was now, you had to go live, and then you could offer perks and subscriptions and stuff. But they're saying now it will be not live. You'll have that option. Creators will be able to post exclusive videos that only subscribers can view. Users who subscribe to a creator will have a subscriber badge displayed next to their name when they post comments on video and during lives. TikTok says more perks will become available once the feature is fully rolled out. So it's not rolled out yet. They're testing it. So they're trying to figure out, again, all of this is how to keep you on TikTok. And Instagram is looking at games. TikTok is looking at where, we're going to get perks. You get people to subscribe, and you get perks, and you get extra stuff. If you can keep people watching your videos, like Risa T, so we keep bringing her up. That's why I know TikTok is loving that, because it kept people on. A 50-part series kept people on. And then she goes on GMA and Tamron and starts talking about it. And people are like, well, let me go to TikTok and let me start getting into this and that. And so this is where the conversation goes with that. And there's this last one we're going to talk about. So this is new. This is recent. So they're trying to put a bill. The U.S. government, Congress, is trying to put a bill in to ban TikTok in the U.S. So House Republicans and Democrats are joining together on legislation that would force its parent company, ByteDance, in China, to divest the popular social media company, or risk the U.S. banning it from app stores. So this bill is bipartisan. And they put, whoever, these people that are doing it on the Intelligence Committee. And they, the White House has signaled support for the bill, but they haven't endorsed it. They're saying, yeah, we're behind it, but we haven't come out and officially said, okay, ban. So, and this is taught because we're in an election cycle. There's an election coming, so they got to walk a line. And so basically what this would require ByteDance to sell the app because of national security concerns about the way it uses and store data, or face a ban. So that's what came out this week, that they want to put it up for a vote. So I believe it's in the House. I believe it's in the House. It's called the Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Control Applications Act.
Okay, come on, y'all. Y'all can make that a little less
FACAA.
No.
So they would create a process for the president through then, and this process would go through the FBI and intelligence agencies to identify certain social media applications under the control of foreign adversaries like China, Russia, Iran, North Korea as national security threats. Once an app was deemed a risk, it would be banned from online app stores and web hosting services unless it severed ties with entities under control of the foreign adversary within 180 days of the designation. So they're saying TikTok is the first one on the chopping block under this new bill. And and we've talked about TikTok.
So now the FBI has got to review every app that's
they're doing that now. They've done that with TikTok.
And they did I think Timu as well.
We talked about I remember the story. The FBI director Christopher Wray said it was a risk. This was like last year or last summer, whatever. So FBI is already in there. Intelligence agencies are already in there because they look at online activity, social media activity for, chatter about what's going on in the world.
Oh, okay.
So they're already there. They're already looking at this. That's how we got to this point. They're already looking at it. So it's not like you're asking them extra stuff. This is a part of what they're doing. And then you got, NSA and all, whoever's listening is listening. So they're watching this. And you've seen it locally. Local law enforcement has used social media to catch criminals because they come on social media with their guns or their money or their drugs or whatever, and they beg and they boast and they dance, and local government is police is loving it because they're like, we catching fish in a barrel because these people want to go and brag. So they're using social media. And on the other side of that, they're using it to catch criminals and criminal activity and other things that are going on.
Wow.
So they're saying that this bill, the bill is going to allow the president, along with the agencies, to identify certain social media applications under the control of foreign adversaries. The ones we already know. There's a list. We already know these countries, blah, 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 blah. So that's what this is about. Everything that's already been known, and they're trying to pull it together and put it into this Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Control Applications Act.
If I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is theater. Give me a playbill and tell me who the actors are, because this is pure theater.
Kabuki theater.
Kabuki theater, Broadway, Oklahoma. I don't know. This is pure theater. This is, we've heard rumblings of this before. TikTok has always been on the chopping block. I think the quote unquote, the problem is that not enough people really understand what these things are and how they work. They get all up in arms and then they forget about it. And like you said, TJ, this is an election cycle. The only reason this is coming up now is because it's an election cycle. They don't give two left arms about TikTok or whatever. Now, I'm not going to say it's not a security concern or a privacy concern. I'm not saying that at all. However, you didn't seem too concerned when you let the talk about this fizzle out. Weren't they talking about the divesting of ByteDance from this before? This is the same conversation they've had from 2 years ago.
We've been talking about it for over a year. I can't remember how long we started talking about it.
It's been more than 2 years.
Yeah, with Trump. We started with Trump, and he wanted to ban it.
Right.
Why does
President
Biden have a channel?
Sorry, go ahead.
Why does President Biden have a TikTok?
They don't. It's banned in the government.
He has a TikTok.
He has TikTok
for his campaign.
Really?
Yes, he opened up a TikTok account
for his campaign.
Wow, this is the thing. Is his campaign Is it run under the government or is it a separate corporation company?
It's separate, but
It's separate.
Okay, then they're using it.
Yeah.
Then they're using the company using it.
They're using it to,
But you can't use it on any government phones. It's been banned by the U.S. government.
Yes, so you can't see it on your government phone.
No.
Right.
No.
So if he's using a private company or whatever corporation or whatever is separate from the government, they can use it.
Because they were saying it's kind of stiff.
It's kind of what?
Kind of stiff. He's kind of stiff. TikTok tends to be a little.
Listen, I don't understand what the deal is about. Oh, the president got to be charismatic and a movie star. And well, you voted for that, and you got what you got. So why do you want somebody like that again? I don't really. As long as he's alive and breathing, I don't care.
I just want somebody making good decisions.
That too.
Right.
That too.
Absolutely. But I think there's a little bit of a halo effect because people equate that type of energy sometimes with the ability to make good decisions. Because if we look at President Obama, obviously he was youthful, he was energetic, he was on social media, he was charismatic, intelligent as all get out. So you kind of and to be honest, I don't think we had ever before had that type of all-in-one leader. Does that make sense? We've never had.
No, you're right.
The person is charismatic and young and smart. And never.
Okay, I'm going to say this. What about Kennedy? Which one of them Kennedys?
But he was sick. He had a back issue.
No, I'm talking about the young Kennedy.
Kennedy. Yeah, you know what? I think
he had a back issue. He had back problems from
but they hit that well.
They did hide it well. Yes, definitely. Kennedy was charismatic.
He was charismatic.
He definitely was. He was smart, but he wasn't Obama intelligent at all.
Agreed.
And if you believe the rumors, he was a little distracted.
He was very distracted, according to some rumors, etc. So yeah, there were a lot of
distracted
that were happening.
I just got it. He was distracted. I'm sorry. I just got the joke.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, and that is also seen as a flaw. That type of thing, especially at that time, that's seen as a flaw. You never heard of anything like that with Obama. No way. So this is not to sing the praises of any one person, but is to say that I think now we've gotten to this certain level of charisma, and then what's his name? Satan 2 came in and tried to
Satan 2
have that same level of charisma. Well, he thinks he's charismatic. He thinks he's wonderful. And so he tried to do that same thing and to have that be beloved.
He wants to be beloved. The peanut gallery doesn't chime in, okay? Go ahead. Just feel my mouth.
Thought it was a TV show. Really?
Well, exactly. He wanted that same level of admiration that he has. He's very delusional because we already know he's not an intellectual. He's not intelligent like that. So, but in his mind, he is, and he wants all those spoils and that same level of admiration. But we had gotten so used to in that administration, whether you liked him or not, you couldn't deny all of those things. And so we had gotten used to this charisma and this youth. And now we're like not wanting to go backwards. So I think a lot of the criticism when it comes to age, which is wrong in and of itself, if people can do the job, it doesn't matter how old they are. But when it comes to age, is because we had gotten so used to an Obama that now everything else just seems downhill, if that makes sense. And that's not saying that he always made the best decisions for the country or whatever. That it's irrespective of the way he governed. It's that we were used to this image of what leadership looks like that was so contrary to what we were used to. And now everything else that follows is like chopped liver. So I think some of the criticism comes from that as well.
And I'll say this: if I want a movie star, I'll go to the movies. I want a president that's capable, going to do the job, and able to lead in the way that a president is supposed to lead. Because again, the president doesn't do things in your local area. Your local government, your state government controls your daily life. And
People
we
don't
see
know
that
that.
with Florida. We see that with a lot of states, even here in New York. You see it. Your local, my governor, my mayor controls things that affect me on a daily. The president is here. So you just want somebody, hey, he's smart, he's capable, he's this, he's that. I don't care about the movies. Oh, well, he's real stiff. Is he doing his job? Is he surrounded by capable younger people? Yes.
What happened to the fact that age used to be associated with
Used to
wisdom?
be. Well, okay, blame Gen Z for that. Blame
What
Gen
happened
Z
to
for
that?
Blame Gen Z.
Because
The
the
book I read says
demonstration.
wisdom is the principal thing.
Okay, but the demonstration of age and no wisdom is upon us, because
Exactly.
Think about what
Because
Gen Z, who are they fighting? Who do they hate the most? Boomers. Boomers, and they hate old people. This is the thing. Old people should die and move out the way so they can have
and
things.
give us your stuff.
Well, you know what? This is part of the thing, and this is totally related to like leadership in tech. Although tech tends to skew younger, but
Right.
leadership wise, you know, we see some of this, but definitely in media leadership, definitely in government leadership, there is this holding on to power that people don't want to let go of. So
Right.
this is what I just read earlier. Rupert Murdoch of Fox News fame and the Fox Empire fame just stepped down not too long ago, and the man is 92.
Wow.
And I just read that he's engaged to get married.
okay.
Yeah, good for him.
Oh, is he
Not a
the one?
fan.
Is he the billionaire that's getting married?
Is that, unless there's another one. Yeah, I think that's him.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, this shows you that in addition to younger millennials, Gen Z, some of Gen Alpha having a problem with that, with age, part of the problem with age is because they're never listened to. You never give them a chance to demonstrate. Now, granted, some of their parents messed them up and didn't give them a chance to do anything, so they don't know how to do a damn thing now.
Yeah, cut their food for them, cut their food, go on job interviews for them. I've even read a story where, like, the first day, like, they get their first job, the parents are going to the job and calling the boss. And what?
If you bring your child to an interview, your child is not getting the job. And here's the thing, because they don't know how to do anything else, like get there on their own. My mother, I really, really had to be in dire straits before I asked my mother to take me anywhere because I didn't want to bother her. I found out how to get places myself. I would take the train, take the bus, or whatever. I got there myself.
Yep, because when you ask, the first thing would be, "Why are you bothering me? Leave me, figure it out yourself. Why are you bothering me?"
So we had to be dire straits before I asked her to take no bus or train.
In this day of Uber,
calling your
Uber,
mom
and
or,
Rover.
you're calling your mom or your dad, or that was like the last thing you did.
Right, exactly. So my thing is, find a way to get there yourself. If you're old enough to get a job and to hold down a job, you're old enough to figure out a way to get there yourself for the interview at least. I don't give a damn if your parents drop you off after because they're going that way, but get there yourself. Find a way. Bring for the Uber. Get there yourself.
Listen, you injured yourself. You something. Put some Robitussin on it or something. I'm not calling my parents. Can I just hop along? That's how it was. It's like you don't want to call your parents to fix you and help you get out of a jam because it's like,
because then it's your fault.
You
what
go
did
to
you
the
do
hospital
to cause the situation? I wasn't trying to.
Yeah,
because it was going to be your fault, regardless if it wasn't. So you find a way to deal with it.
Yeah. Do I have to go to the hospital? I don't want to go. When you get there, like, do you have to call? Can you just do? It was that kind of thing. It was that kind of thing. Like, no, because you knew you were going to hear it. So you figure it out yourself. But now it's the opposite. Like they're taking their kids to prom. They're going on the job interviews. They're going even showing up at the job. And okay. That's where we are. Some, not all, some.
Yeah. And
So
I think really quickly that that is a legacy of what Gen X and some millennials did to Gen Z, because there are some millennial parents that have Gen Z people. So, and some boomers that have Gen. So it's all across the board.
Yeah, because Gen X is latchkey baby. And we, like you said, we had to figure it out. So you have kids, you're like, well, I don't want to do that to them. But they overcorrected and went to the other side of doing everything for them.
Right. To the point where I was like, somebody was talking about their child needed to take their child somewhere. And of course, what did I say? I said, let them take the bus. That's the first thing that came out of my mouth. And she was like, oh, well, she doesn't know how to take them. And in my head, I'm like, your child is doomed. There's no way that your child should not know how to get out of a jam or get someplace if you are not there. You are handicapping them. That's beside the point, but it filters into the workplace where, okay, I need you to figure this out. And not just from a standpoint of the coding you learned in order to enact this. How is this going to affect the end user? But because you've never had to think on that level, you don't know now what to do outside of what has been told to you in school or what outside in what's in the book. So it affects it. We laugh about it, but it does have an effect on what we get and what we see in terms of media, in terms of tech.
Yeah, the kids are sandboxed. They're sandboxed. So, but get back to TikTok. This is what's going on with TikTok now. The response from TikTok. This bill is an outright ban of TikTok, no matter how much the authors try to disguise it. This legislation will trample the First Amendment rights of 170 million Americans and deprive 5 million small businesses of a platform they rely on to grow and create jobs. That is TikTok's response. That small businesses will collapse and crumble if they don't have TikTok. And we talked about that with, I think I brought it up. There was one of the states, because each state is doing their own individual, trying to do their own individual ban. And there's laws enacted and going through the court system and being challenged. But one state, I think it was Michigan, I forgot what it was. And they spoke to the lady and she said, oh, this is going to destroy my business. And I was like, well, why?
Right.
TikTok
that was
going
Montana.
down. TikTok going down destroys your business. You don't have a business. There's other things. There's in real life people. There's email. There's SMS. Getting back to the, Facebook going down. There's other avenues. What did you do before social media for your business? Go back to that. So TikTok being banned is not going to destroy anybody's business, because you should know how to pivot and you should be other places anyway.
Right.
Okay. And that's what's going on this week. Social media news updates.
Hey, TJ, can you begin including fan base in there? Because they're making some different.
Is there something? Because is there something about fan base?
Well, I know they're doing another round of investment, but I wasn't talking about that. Fan base is doing. They incorporate all of the different types of platforms in one platform, and they let you monetize it. Here's the kicker. It's you trying to get your followers to follow you over there, right?
Yes.
And that is the difficult task at times.
Right. So, and that's fan base. What's the other one? Spill. There's a couple others that aren't getting name recognition. I'll say name recognition. Like Facebook is name recognition, Instagram, Snapchat, all those name recognitions where you have I call them the niche apps of Fanbase, Spill, Spoutable. There's a couple others. And the thing is, that's the deal. How do I get the attention from Black Twitter? Is still on Twitter. They will not leave. You cannot shake them off. You cannot pull them off. They are staying until they get blabbed. You know what the blabbed is. So how do you get that? There's other options. There's Threads, there's Spill, there's Fanbase, there's Snapchat, there's this and that. They're not leaving. So that's what I mean. Like how they're in the same kind of boat. You want Black Twitter to go to Spill or Fanbase or whatever, because that group, they are, like I spoke about this week, culture. Like they set the trend. They're the leaders. They get talked about. Risa Teeth gets talked about. Those things, culture gets talked about. So how do you get them from release Twitter and go over to Fanbase? And Fanbase is a good app. It has everything. It has, if you like Instagram, it has those things. If you like Snap, it has Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all of those things inside of one. And so how do you get people over?
And you can migrate your Instagram info and your TikTok info. You can migrate it in there so you don't have to do reposting. But again, it's like if you have them on an email list, you can say, hey, check us out on this platform over here. And if the people are following you, then you can get them to go. But if you don't have them on the email list, it's going to be real difficult to move somebody from one of the other platforms.
Yes, it is very difficult to get people to move from one to the other. And Fanbase has been around for a while, and they still haven't been able to do it. Spill has been for a year, I think maybe a year, a little over a year. They have a niche following. They cannot, if one of those could get Black Twitter, all of them en masse to come over, they would be okay. But Black Twitter doesn't want to leave. Or Tech Twitter, another group that won't let go of Twitter.
Right.
And they will not leave until the lights turn off.
And so if I wanted to, I have to post over there. And the people who follow me, I can invite them and they can come or not. It's easy over there. And it's not difficult, and it's not a noise either.
Right. But see, it's also, you got to realize it's also about personal choice and where somebody feels comfortable having a conversation. So if I'm in Black Twitter or I'm on Tech Twitter, that's a comfortable couch. Right. I'm comfortable. I'm sitting on the couch. I got my big screen TV. I got my popcorn. I got my wine. I got my cheese. I got whatever little things. You're good. And the lights are still on. What happens when they turn out the lights? That's when they'll go, oh, let me look at Fanbase. Oh, let me look at Spill. Oh, let me look at Threads. But until then, they're not leaving. So that's what I see the issue is. Fanbase is a good place to be. It's just getting your people over there, and you have to drag. Like Fran says, you have to constantly hit the hammer of, email, blah, 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 and I've got stuff on Fanbase. Join me over there. You have to give them some exclusive.
Right.
Join me on Fanbase. Join me at one of the other places, but you have to give them an enticement. They're not just going to go because you said, well, I'm on Fanbase. Okay, good for you.
There are a couple things, since we're talking about Fanbase, if you don't mind. So there are a couple of things. The biggest thing, like you said, is it's very difficult to get people to leave their home. They're used to wherever they are, and it's difficult. So many people don't want to go and upend whatever they have on one platform to go someplace else that it is an unknown. And it's not like the barrier to entry is very high. It's a fairly easy enough app to get to know. But here's where I see some, I don't know, mistakes, but maybe miscalculations are made on Isaac Hayes, the third part. when it first opened and first started, and it started, right around the time that they probably had started before, but it started to be known right around the time that Clubhouse was big and banging.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of came off to me, and this is my opinion, as the not Clubhouse.
Okay.
So if you're trying to be the unclubhouse, you are not articulating who you are. So I never
Exactly.
really had a clear concept of who they were. Number two, to me, and this is in my opinion, you are trying to get regular, average, everyday people to use the app. It is not just about celebrities. But to me, it feels like there is an over, not a reliance, but he's constantly reaching out. He's about notables. And that he's from Atlanta, that's kind of Atlanta culture. So it kind of spills over into culture, has a big part to do with this. It kind of spills into what I've seen as his approach. And yes, he's like, well, creators can get paid right away. You could start monetizing from your audience. Yes, but there's also this whole thing of reaching out to, oh, well, we're trying to get such and such on board. Forget that. I'm regular such and such. What have you done to entice me? And it feels like, to me, there doesn't feel enough connection with regular people. He's too busy trying to get notables and celebrities.
I agree with you. I agree. He should be trying to get bread and butter everyday users. Like I said, Black Twitter. Maybe he, figure out, because when Clubhouse first started, it was like, oh, Oprah's here and this is here. But Oprah came and left. Gary came and left. All those notables came and left. The people that keep Clubhouse going is the bread and butter daily users. I built a community. Here we are. We're talking about XYZ. And you're right. If he's not focusing on bread and butter people, he's not going to make it. Focusing on I'm going to get Jay-Z over here. So what?
Yeah, I don't care.
Jay-Z comes and does one, whatever they call it, space, whatever they call it over there, one audio room, and he's out. He doesn't need to be there. He doesn't need you. You need him. So you're chasing the wrong rabbit. Chase the bread and butter daily people. How about Black business owners or just try to get regular people, like you said, and you're absolutely right. And to say, oh, you can come over here and make money. Okay, maybe that's not the thing that motivates me. What motivates Black Twitter? I look at that as the case study. What's going on? Are they making money on Twitter? They're over there having a good time with memes. One of the things that I saw in the last week or so is the whole royal thing with Kate Middleton and something. She's not been seen since December. Black Twitter has rolled with that thing. They said she hasn't been seen because she got a BBL, and they started making memes. They made memes all week, and but what I'm saying is that culturally thing that they have, that gets the attention. So it got the attention of the media over here, and people were like, "Well, what's going on?" They even wrote stories about it, and I forgot one of the major media things about, Kate Middleton has been missing, and Twitter went and they had a whole story about it. And once a Rolling Stone or whoever picks up, the mass media picks it up, like they did with Risa Teesa. She was on Rolling Stone. She did that, and then GMA, because the producers of GMA are watching what the buzz is. And so they pick up that. So that was the thing. I was like, okay, that's what Black Twitter does. And that's what tech Twitter does, when the whole thing with the OpenAI guy, Sam Altman, that week. And it was just like, ooh, popcorn watching time.
Right.
You have that moment.
It is a thing. You're spot on, because the other downfall of this, and not to be a rain on fan base thing, but it's truth. The other thing is, if you are talking about, okay, creators can come and make money, well, what about audience? apps only work if you have a core audience, and it's only going to be a small percentage of the people on your app that are actually going to be creators. You need people to come and watch these creators. So people that are audience are not concerned about getting paid because they're not trying to make any content. So if you are only an app about creators, you're not going to have viewers, and the app won't do well because you need people to watch those creators, because then creators will leave when you don't have audience there, if they're only interested about money and not building community. And that's the thing. You need to have it in terms of building community and not just monetizing, because it can't just be about money. That doesn't
Right. I agree with you. It just can't be monetization. It has to be audience building. It has to be engagement. It has to be culturally relevant. It has to be all, it's the gumbo. It has to be a whole soup of, oh, you throw this and that. It's not just one thing. And then the founder, Isaac Haynes III, because he always talks about, oh, well, you're on Instagram making content for them and they're not giving you any money. Well, that's not why I'm on Instagram.
Right.
You're looking at the wrong thing.
And see, what you're saying right there is also part of the problem, that there is a thought process that there is a blanket approach to all of this, which is when you look at some of the content on Fanbase. That's why initially I was like, no, it's not for me, because I saw some of the quote ratchet content that was on there, and I'm like, okay, well, you are now assuming that all people of a certain demographic like the same things, and I don't.
Right.
I don't like that kind of stuff, and so it's not for me. Therefore, I'm not going to be over there. So that's the other problem. Looking
I'm
at
glad you brought that. I'm glad you said the ratchet part, because that was like, okay, that was my thought. But I'm trying to be fair, but
it is fair.
No. I'm not saying it's unfair. I'm just saying I was like, I didn't want to go there.
Talk
but you're
about
right.
the people who are distracted. You didn't want to talk about them.
What?
You didn't want to talk about the people who are distracted.
Oh,
they are distracted.
No, but I'm glad she said it, because that was the first thing that hit my mind. I just was like, okay, let me be quiet, because it's a
we have to be real about it.
Yes, we need to be
that's
real.
what they were known for initially, right?
But what I'm seeing, I see the big picture of it didn't have to be that, because you put yourself in a niche and now you can't get out of it by having the ratchet, the this and the that, when you had a tool, a thing. And like you said about, okay, they came out as an anti-Clubhouse. They came out as this. Wrong. How about just come out and say, hey, this is a pleasant experience, or this is a that, or this is a that. Instead of going, well, you're on Instagram or Twitter making content and you're not making money. You're a fool. Ha ha ha. No, I'm not. I'm over here in Black Twitter having a good laugh. And then I leave, or I go to Instagram and I'm having a good laugh because I got a community and I'm talking to people. It's not about, like you said, about making money. Some people want to do that, yes, but you started out wrong by your approach and the content that you have. Because I've downloaded it several times. I downloaded it just now. It was like, because it goes away if I don't use it.
Yeah, that's another thing. If I am not on Instagram for a while, I could go back to the app and I'll still be signed in. Here, I have to now remember what my password is because you signed me out. So my thing is like, well, I'm just not going to sign back in if I have to, because that's too much. So there are things that are fundamentally flawed. And again, and here's the thing. Remember when Clubhouse, who was it? Clubhouse had the issue where it was Clubhouse when they changed everything around, and people that were still there were like upset. So a lot of people said, oh, well, let's check out what else. And so a lot of people then from there came over to Fanbase. Well, Fanbase wasn't quite prepared for that influx, and there were some bugs and things. And the thing was always, well, there's a lot of it's a lot. They have a smaller team. Just roll with it, which is fine. You give grace, but my thing is, like, if you're raising all this money and you're doing all these things, and what you want is for people to come from other apps there, why is there no level of preparation in anticipation that this could possibly be the case? Again, easier said than done, and I give so much credit and props to anybody who can start an app like that, and especially as robust as the app is. It's just really sad to see that it has become characterized one way because of marketing or lack thereof, because of setting up spaces for certain certain types of people and not others. It could be so much more than what it is.
And when you see, they don't have a direction of who their core audience is. When you know who it is, you serve them. If you're trying to serve everybody, you serve no one. So I mean, like I said, I love the concept. It's an all-in-one. It's got everything I want, but it's the content. It's the people. I was searching for content. I was like, well, what is all this ratchet stuff? I'm not into that. Boop, I'm going. But now I go in and I'm following fan base, and they're having a town hall with some entrepreneur. And okay, that sounds exciting, but then I scroll through and then I'm like, okay, I see other stuff that I'm like, I don't like any of that. Here's somebody named Alaya Janelle, and
already.
Can I curate my feed like I do on other apps?
Right.
Can
See, that's
I
the point.
not see?
Right. I gotta
stuff?
come in and do that because I follow fan base, I follow Roland Martin, and Isaac Haynes III, and then I mean, I don't know how to get to. I see somebody that they have TikTok videos and TikTok style dancing, dancing, and which I don't want that either. So it's I love the app. I love the concept. It's just how does he get people to make the content that people want to see and be a community that you want to be a part of? Because you go through a neighborhood, especially in New York, you walk down a block or two, the neighborhood changes, and you decide whether I want to be there now. Oh, that looks Upper West Side, Upper East Side. Oh yeah, I'm there. But if I go some other places, I'm not okay. I don't want to be here, and I leave. So I don't know. I mean, fan base is a good place to be. Do we want to be there?
That's it. It's a good place to be, but do you want to be there? That is perfect. That is a perfect assessment.
Because they don't know who they are. Fan base doesn't know who they are. They're the anti-Instagram, the anti-Twitter, the anti-corporate. Well, if you're anti, what are you for? No, tell me what you're for. Don't tell me you're anti-Instagram, because that's gonna make some people mad. Well, instantly turn them off. What are you for? What are you about? Same thing that's going on right now politically, because now we've got a presumptive nominee here and a presumptive nominee here, and like, okay, one has to say what they're for, ignore the other. So they're trying to decide who they are and what platform. That's it. What's your platform? And they haven't figured it out yet. So other than to say, come over here, you're going to make money with your content. Well, maybe I don't want to make money with my content. Maybe I want to go to a neighborhood that I like. Like I said, I'm on the sofa watching Netflix or Hulu or whatever, and I got my snacks and I'm comfy and I'm good. I'm snug as a bug in a rug. I'm not feeling that on fan base. I want to, but like I said, I think this is the third or fourth time I've had to go in and download it because I wasn't using it. And then I go in and I remember why I'm not using it.
Yeah, and it's really sad because I think there is room in the space for all types of apps, but you just really, really have to know who your audience is and who
you serve,
appeals to, who you serve,
who you are, and who you serve.
Yeah,
who you are, who you serve. They don't know that. They're just the anti. Oh, you know, Black creators, you're making content for Instagram and you're not making any money. That's not a driver for me.
It's basically like saying vote for me because I'm Black.
Yes. Instead of vote for me because I give you X, Y, Z. I improve your life. I make things better. I make you happy. You get entertained. You get. Not. Don't go over there. Don't go over to Clubhouse. Don't go. That's wrong. That doesn't keep people on. That doesn't keep people interested. So that's what I'm saying about fan base. I've looked at, but I just looked up the news. They don't have anything.
And then you feel as a content creator that, and it's not just fan base. This is like with a lot of these newer apps, right, that crop up. It's like, all right, I would love to take my talents and put things on some other places, but is it going to be fruitful? And so you have to know, what are the goals of the people that you are asking to create content on your app? Are they looking to monetize? That's one audience. Are they looking to engage and just spread their message? That's another audience. So there's so many different audiences there, for audiences of creators there, and you have to be aware of what they are. You can't just be the not XYZ.
Yeah. The anti, no. And
Yeah,
see,
yeah.
and Spill is another one. When I look up news in Google from last year, that's it. There's crickets now from July 2023. That's it. What's the latest? Nobody's reporting on them.
It's hard. It's really hard. And the thing is, you really want to support a lot of these apps because it is difficult. You do, and it takes time to grow.
But why you're building a community and nobody's going to get new homes? Nobody wants the new homes. Why? Why can't you sell the homes in that new? It looks great over there. Why can't you sell the homes?
Because it's a little sketchy in the neighborhood.
Yes, Fran knows.
If the neighborhood is sketchy and you got cars on the lawn,
y'all up all night blasting music off the stereo. I'm trying to sleep. I gotta go to work. You guys don't work. You hang out all. Okay, I don't want. That's not what I want.
Exactly. And so you're asking what they're asking us to do is to build a large home, a mansion with an infinity pool next to homes that have cars parked on the lawn. Somebody's fixing this car. The hood is open. There's furniture on the front porch, inside furniture, indoor furniture, and a refrigerator on the front porch. You have the chain link fence that's bent. You're asking me to build a mansion next to this. That's exactly what these platforms are doing when they ask you to come over there and build, and the neighborhood is sketchy.
And this reminds me, I don't know how I saw, I think it was on TikTok or something, where this real estate guy was showing a house and he was like, well, why can't it sell? It hasn't sold. And people in the comments were telling him, well, because of this, because of that, because the living room area was like an L. And it led to the kid. They were explaining everything, why this house doesn't sell. Because he's like, oh, well, the pricing of this. But look at it. Look at the layout. It didn't serve anybody.
Yes.
Your dining area is like this, and it leads to the kid. It was like an L or something. And people were telling them why this house won't sell. I've seen a couple of videos like that. Why this house won't sell.
Absolutely. There's another one in New York that was like this one. I don't remember if it was Queens. I think it may have been Queens. So it was like a semi-detached row house. And I'm sure it could have been beautiful if they redid it, but they redid it with people were like, this looks like the inside of a hair salon, because it had that like the fake, it wasn't real marble, the fake marble, black marble tile. And that's exactly what it looked like. They tried to make it look aesthetically pleasing with the taste of inside of a hair salon. It was awful. And
I love those kind of videos.
I love it. But again, the point is, who are you serving? You don't know who your audience is. You think you know your audience without asking them. Oh yeah, they want it to look like the people who live in this neighborhood want something that looks posh. We're not going to spend money on real marble, so we'll just buy this the 59-cent per tile marble that's in the bargain bin and put it in there, and it'll be just as good. But that's underestimating.
Details matter, right?
Yes.
Details matter.
I think that's underestimating your audience as well, because it's saying that your audience is not intelligent enough to know when they're getting rubbish.
Right. You're trying to tell me this is filet mignon. This is something else.
Peanuts.
No, this is that chicken fried steak.
Exactly.
This ain't filet mignon.
Ooh, so I mean, I love when we get into the meat of.
Yeah, and I was just I was thinking about it. I'm like, it is like you all said, it's a great app. It does this,
It is.
this, this,
I
this, and
know.
this.
I
And
downloaded
they
it
got
again, but I'm
something
not gonna
called
use it anymore.
they got something called Fanbase Plus, where you can go on and create videos like you do with YouTube, and without. And I was like, okay, but who's
See,
over here?
Here's the deal. And this is about my last thing. Like they're selling. You gotta sell the sizzle,
The sizzle.
not the steak, or you gotta sell. You don't sell the features of the car. You sell the benefit. So that's what I'm saying. The benefit of us being over there or new people is like what? Black Twitter's like they know about Spill. I've seen them talk about it. They know about fan base when it came. I've seen them talk about it over there, but they're like, we're good here.
And I'm just saying, because I was like, why haven't I been over there?
And see, Threads had this same problem. See, what Threads did was tied you to your Instagram, which people didn't like, but it worked.
Mm-hmm.
Did it work?
Yeah, because the thing for Threads is it works because it's ease of use.
Yes, the connection moving from one to the other. Now, I'm not saying it's perfect. I know a lot of people didn't like it, and I didn't either. But it was like genius. How do we get new people to? Oh, we tied you your Instagram, and then you come over and you check out the. Let's look at the open house. Let's look at the new neighborhood. And then some people left. Yeah, okay, bye. But now they're back.
And it wasn't sketchy.
Nope.
Threads was not a sketchy neighborhood. I was like, okay.
I said, give it time. Give Threads time. It's still working out the kinks. It's a new house. Still doing that. But this is how I know when I check the apps. When I go into the app store and I see the top free apps, it's been like top 10. Now it was one time it was 2. Now it's 7. It jumps up and down, and it's waiting for Twitter. It's waiting for Twitter when Twitter dies, like the lights are out. That's when Threads is going to see an influx of people. Black Twitter's not leaving. Twitter's not leaving. A couple other niche community culture Twitters are not leaving because the lights are still on.
Yep. Well, I didn't mean to drag us down this hole, but I was like,
good.
why isn't, because I was trying to explain to somebody, even if you go over there, you got to get your people to come. And if you don't have no people, this is going to be difficult.
It's real estate, the feel of the neighborhood. I wish them luck, though.
Okay, now that we have discussed the red light district, can we move to another neighborhood?
Yes, I'm done. We're done.
All right, Dr. Tati, you got the floor. And there's so many things to talk about in media.
And how do I get out of red light district? Well, let's start a little bit. Hello, everyone. Let's start talking a little bit. IATSE, the Teamsters, and studios getting ready to resume talks. What is this? About 10 days, March 18th. And the guilds are expected to have their caucus on that day. So they had 4 days of joint talks with the studios over health, pension, and benefits. So let me talk about IATSE and the Teamsters and other Hollywood crafts. These are the people. So, we had the strikes with the Actors Guild, the Writers Guild and the Actors Guilds, right? So they struck, but that does not include, for the most part, crew, camera people, etc. They are represented by IATSE, IATSE, and the Teamsters, right? And there are some other ones as well. So let's talk a little bit about what IATSE said. Negotiations have adjourned for the week. In terms of scheduling, union members are advised that the negotiation schedule is fluid and may be subject to change on short notice. Next week, March 11th through 15th, is expected to be a caucus week, meaning the employers and union negotiating committee only meet with themselves and do not meet in joint sessions with both parties across the table. So each individual entity is meeting amongst themselves. So then the vice president of IATSE said, the international VP said, in the coming weeks, we will continue to discuss the specifics of these proposals and provide periodic updates on changes. So to let you know, I think everybody thought that now that the actors strike is over and the writers strikes are over and they came to an agreement with the directors guild that everything is cool and gravy. Well, no, these are constant renegotiations, right? And if something doesn't feel right, they are not going to go for it. So there's constantly renegotiations when it comes to everything in Hollywood, and everyone is not an actor, director, or writer or producer in Hollywood. There are so many other things that go into the productions that we see. So these are some of them, and letting you know they are getting ready to start to negotiate again. All right, so let's talk a little bit about, I'll save this for what, because I know Terry has something that she probably wants to add. TJ has something she wants to add to this. So let me talk about this first. CBS has a new venture with the NAACP, and they're developing a daytime drama about Black family. It's going to be called The Gates, and it's being produced in partnership with Procter & Gamble. And so this is going to air on the CBS television network. So not like, it could be on Paramount eventually as well, but it's going to air on CBS. And I don't know if you all know, but Procter & Gamble does have a studio because it is co-produced by Procter and P&G Studios, and their studios are a division of the advertiser Procter & Gamble, in case you did not know. So this actually was formed, this came about in 2020, and this is the first show to emerge. So I guess they had talked about creating something before and during the pandemic, and now it's coming to fruition. And this is what Sheila Ducksworth, the president of CBS Studios, has to say. I am, or the president of the CBS Studio NAACP venture, I should say. I'm excited to develop this project with CBS and P&G, two of the longest and most passionate champions of broadcast and daytime television, and the NAACP, whose enduring commitment to Black voices and artists is both powerful and inspiring. So Michelle, I should say Valjean, or does she say Jean? I don't know, but Valjean, who has written more than 2,000 episodes of daytime dramas, including The Bold and the Beautiful and General Hospital, will be the showrunner and the writer. And Ducksworth says this, Sheila Ducksworth says, The Gates will be everything we love about daytime drama from a new and fresh perspective. This series will salute an audience that has been traditionally underserved, with the potential to be a groundbreaking moment for broadcast television. With multidimensional characters, juicy storylines, and Black culture front and center, The Gates will have impactful representation, one of the key touchstones of the venture. Interesting, I think.
So they're giving us a soap opera?
It is, yeah, it's a daytime drama. It is a soap opera.
Okay, I just want clarification. Okay.
Go ahead, TJ.
Mr. Tisa. Yeah, why is this a network show?
Interesting.
I was getting ready to go along that.
Why is it not on
YouTube.
TikTok? Why is it not on YouTube?
Right. Why is it that we gotta now 9 a.m. on Monday through Tuesday? We gotta sit and watch. Why?
Did Gen Z have a TV?
Okay,
no.
So right now I'm about to answer you, but I'm also talking to the elephants on my table because they're clueless as well. As learned as you elephants are, do you have an answer? They said no. So let me tell you what I think this is. We do know who we're dealing with here, right? CBS, Paramount, NAACP. These are all legacy, traditional-minded entities. They are not going to go and say, let's create something on YouTube, because to them, they cannot fathom a world outside of daytime broadcast television. When we look at who are leading, the people leading these organizations, it's still old school legacy people.
It's right in front of your face for the last 2 weeks of what is happening in media. It's been in your face, CBS, Paramount, and all. You guys are trying to make people watch. Who's going to watch this on CBS? Who?
And I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
What daytime stuff are people watching now? I would be curious to know
what's on?
the
I don't know what's on. The
I
Price
don't.
is Right?
Is General Hospital still on?
I don't
Young and the
know.
Restless still on?
I thought
First of
all the
all,
soap operas were dead.
I never liked soap operas to begin with because I think when I was little, my babysitters were always watching it, and I wanted to watch something fun. So I never liked those types of things, which is what led me to not liking nighttime dramas, which were of the same vein. So people talk about Dallas, and I never liked that stuff because I didn't like soap operas, so that didn't appeal to me either. So now let's fast forward. Now this is not the first time this has been done. Say you don't like him or say you love him. Tyler Perry with the Have and the Have-Nots did a nighttime drama. Now I never watched it, but apparently my podcast partner Kevin, and he is not a Tyler Perry fan, but he liked the Haves and the Have-Nots. So when he said that, I'm like, okay, there's something to it if Kevin likes it.
You know what? Wait a minute. I think the Have and the Have-Nots, was that the one with the family? And I think I watched that in the beginning. It was very addictive in a potato chip kind of way. If you know what I'm saying, like you watched and it was just woo woo, but it got so ridiculous. I think I stopped watching it.
Tika Sumpter played one of the leads.
Oh. Yes, and John, the guy that said something about Beyonce just now,
John Schneider, yes.
And it was, I'm trying to remember. But it was like, because that time period, it was like, okay, yeah. And it was like, woo. And we started watching it. And then all of a sudden, I lost interest. I was like, it's getting too stupid. It was getting too stupid with the, the brother of the son of the cousin of the this was coming and doing this. And it was like, dun, dun, dun. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm over this. But it started out great. It had a great concept about the Tika Sumpter's character in the John Schneider character was having an affair or something. I don't remember. I don't know. But
so Mark said the worst writing ever. Kevin and I were in hysterics over it. And then he said terrible.
But see, okay,
I guess you were hate watching it. Okay.
Can I say something real quick about, because the worst writing, put that up. The worst writing ever?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're talking Tyler Perry. We're not talking Oscars. We're talking he has a dedicated fan base and they like his content. Mm-hmm. So he's feeding his people what they like. And he's feeding them and look what he got off of eating. I'm not saying it's right. There is fast food and there is, I'm going to the Four Seasons or I'm going to Le Bernardin or something.
Right.
I don't go to Le Bernardin every day. I don't eat, whatever every day. I eat this every day. So that's what I'm saying about. And this is the thing I see about the Tyler Perry stuff is that, okay, yes, it's horrible, it's terrible, but somebody's eating it. Somebody loves it. And those people are satisfied and fed. That's all I want to say.
Despite the fact that fast food will kill you if you eat it every day, there is still a dedicated. What is McDonald's now say? Billions and billions served, because they always had on their signs how many hamburgers they always sold. So now it's like billions and billions.
Exactly.
That will probably make you keel over if you eat that every day. However,
and the orange guy eats it every day. Is he dead? Not yet.
He will be. So
not yet.
The other thing is,
ask his arteries how they're doing with all that. I'm just saying, but it's there, and people eat it because there's a certain reason why. It makes them feel better, or they can take their brain out of their head of whatever problems they have, and I can watch this silliness, this stupid, or whatever, and it's something I don't have to think.
But you know what? I'm sorry not to interrupt, but I think the other end of that is. Because it's Terry. He is not a great writer because he has never taken the time to really truly learn the craft or specialize in something. Horror writers specialize in horror. Romantic writers specialize in romance. It doesn't mean they can't venture out, but their strong suit is that he thinks he can do everything, and that's what he tries to do and fails each time. So, I think the big thing here is there's a dedicated audience, and there's a people who will eat the hamburgers every day. I'm sorry. There's a drone flying overhead, and I'm like, what is this? Okay.
What I'm saying is it works for him in his
right
world.
But I'm saying that there are people that will support him no matter what, because he is Tyler Perry. And part of the thing is, I'm going to add culture in here too. I think that when you come from an underrepresented group, and often your work is, trashed or trashed upon, people then will go the other opposite direction and overly defend you, because what you're not going to do is talk about one of our stars. And even if the stuff is terrible, even if it's awful, we will still defend to a fault, even if it's awful, because they're one of our own. So there's that dynamic working there as well. So if we don't understand why, I think that's part of it all.
That's it. That you're hitting it right there. It's because, well, I know it's horrible, I know whatever, but he's a Black creator putting Black actors and whatever in production, and he's got the studio and he's putting people to work. Not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that is the reality of it. So people go, well, I don't understand. I understand perfectly. He knows his audience and he's feeding them.
But
in the story, they're happy. They're happy.
Yes, but that does not mean that this, I was going to say, collusion between NAACP and CBS is going to work.
It doesn't mean it's going to work at all, because
they
do not have the ingrained relationship with the audience that Tyler Perry has. Tyler Perry built his audience from the ground up, from the days of his Chitlin Circuit stage plays till now. As awful as all of them may be, regardless of, maybe you like them, maybe you don't, but as awful as they may be, he's built a fan base, no pun intended or pun intended. CBS, NAACP, they have not done that. To the contrary, quite the opposite. CBS does not have a good track record when it comes to showcasing people of color, underrepresented groups at all on any of their programming. If we go and do research on their programming from, let's say, 1950 to now, I'm sure we will come up with maybe just a handful of shows that really showcase people of color in any positive light or way. So they don't have a good history of doing that. The NAACP, on the other hand, also, why they may be fighting to have good representations of images, it's good representations of images that they deem appropriate. They still have a very old school thinking. Now, you may say, who am I? I used to be the president of the NAACP at the University of Buffalo. I was one of the founders. I knew enough inside and saw enough inside to say, okay, are you really interested in what we have to say as college students, the next generation, or are you just trying to imprint whatever agenda you think? And it was the latter. And so I'm saying they've changed, obviously, since I was an undergrad, but I got to see that. So we're talking about, again, two old school legacy entities coming together to make a show. I hope to God they get some good writers, because
that's not going to save this. I don't mean subject, like art is subjective, like it's a bad show. It could be it could be Oscar worthy. The eyeballs on TikTok, the eyeballs are on YouTube. That's why I talk about it. That's why I show the charts. Who's watching TV?
Who watches TV? Let's be real. Let's be clear and let's be real. And it's going to have to also be on Paramount for this to be a thing for streaming, because so many markets for like Sling and YouTube TV do not have CBS as part of their package. I don't care. I just have NBC.
Okay, so this is P&G, you said?
Correct. Procter & Gamble Studios.
Procter & Gamble. Procter & Gamble's doing this because they want to sell soap.
Absolutely.
They want to sell soap. They want to sell their products.
Yes.
They want to sell their products. They want new viewers. They want new eyeballs. They want new people.
They're going about it the wrong way.
That new eyeballs, fresh eyeballs, is millennials and Gen Z. Where are they?
And they're not
Where are
on
they?
CBS at
Where-
whatever time
CBS.
during the day.
Who's on CBS? Who's watching TV? Boomers,
Let's
60 and up.
a number of shows are ending that even had any interest to younger people, if at all. CBS, I have to say honestly, I think CBS is the network television station. I shouldn't say station, the network that has the oldest audience.
Yes, they are.
I think if I'm not mistaken, they have the oldest audience. So not only are you not diverse, you're also not reaching, you don't have diversity in terms of your audience age wise. Younger people, do you have, I haven't looked to see if they have a TikTok chat account, if they
Good.
do
Let me
things
see.
on Instagram, do they do anything on YouTube? I haven't looked. And that's because their target audience is not them. And that's fine to understand your target audience, but then you don't want to exist past next year. People are all you have to do is look at these numbers for all these recent things we keep bringing up. You all in recent memory have not drawn over 1 million people for any of your offerings live. Maybe live +2 the 2 days after you managed to get there, but it's been a struggle.
Okay, CBS is on TikTok. I can see little clips of
Is it Young
the
Sheldon?
Late Show.
Young Sheldon? Young Sheldon is getting ready to end.
The new show, Lizbeth. The Late Show clips. What's the date though?
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
I'm trying. Oh, that's recent. 2 days. America Ferrera.
Oh, America Ferrera.
So I see a lot of and this was smart to do clips from the Late Show, which Stephen Colbert, which again, that's not Gen Z.
Older demographic. Nobody the Gen Zs are not watching these late night talk shows.
So you know they copied Jimmy Fallon, because Jimmy Fallon and them when Threads went up, almost immediately Jimmy Fallon had his clips going on Threads.
And Jimmy Fallon, to be fair, has been doing this for a while. He's been doing like viral things and all these things for a while. And what he's been doing is then incorporating these things like the beer pong and all those types of things. He has segments of his show that are very, quote, social media friendly or social media like that lend themselves to clips. So he's been for years, he has been doing this type of thing because he realizes where his audience is. CBS does not. And this is no dig at CBS, or maybe it is, I don't care. But yeah, and actually it is. And here's the thing. Kevin and I actually, when we first started our podcast, we asked CBS if they would send us some screeners of shows so that we could review. It costs you nothing to do that. Now, you're in your right to say no, but they were like, no. We're like, what? But guess who did say yes? NBC Universal.
There you go.
You would want to have your stuff in the hands of people, younger people, that can talk about it, review your stuff, all of that stuff. So I'm like, you are gatekeeping your non-existent programming, and NBC Universal, they said yes. So it's not just NBC that also gave us access to Bravo, that also gives us access to anything that is in that NBC Universal universe. So, any case, that's that.
I'm just saying. I know what you want, and you're on the wrong. You're at the wrong table. CBS,
right?
Procter and Gamble.
Absolutely. All right.
It's really interesting.
It is. So I just have a few more things because we really are at time. I know. All right. So we talked about Risa Tisa, and I think you mentioned this, but I just wanted to quickly mention that, of course, she has a deal with CAA, with Creative Artists Agency, which is one of the largest agencies in Hollywood. This is what she said. So CAA is going to help her actually navigate her post "Who TF Did I Marry" career. So yeah, she has that 50-part series, but then the question is, now what? So that's why they've stepped in to do that. She says this: I'm excited to join the CAA family in what has become an extraordinary and life-changing opportunity. I hope to bring this story and personal experiences to an even bigger platform with the hopes of helping those in similar circumstances know they are not alone. So also what's being talked about is a big screen adaptation. So Jacob Noti Victor is an associate professor of law at Cardozo Law School and told Time magazine that she should tread carefully in order to keep her tail above board. So he says this, quote, reputable producers would want to collaborate with her and make sure she was involved. Some elements of her story could be protected by copyright and other forms of intellectual property, and trying to adapt the story without her permission would be risky. So she has to be on the lookout for those types of things, because there are going to be culture vultures. It has already happened where everybody, like I said, will get on TikTok. Oh, I have a story. I want to tell it. My dear, you're not her. Sit down. Just listen. Everybody doesn't have to do the same thing. But again, this adds credence to my argument that these platforms are the wave of the future, and it comes from the bottom up. If you create, people will come. You don't have to stop begging and stop going to these major companies pitching your stuff. A, they may steal it. B, they're not checking for you because they don't know you. Create on your own. She took the time, and this took a lot out of her, not just in terms of time, but emotionally, I'm sure it took a lot out of her to relive this for however many episodes. But if you watch I watched her on Tamron Hall. I watched the clip from Tamron Hall. She is absolutely amazing. Aside from this, the way she articulates things, this is how you could tell she's a good storyteller. She articulates things well. This is her wheelhouse, and I can't wait to see what she does with it. I want her to start a production company so she can start doing these things. She is amazing, and I wish her nothing but the best, but I wanted to mention that she is with Creative Artists Now, and I know you mentioned it, but just getting a little deeper into that. Yes. Good for you, Lisa.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, because she went way beyond what I was thinking. Like I was thinking, okay, no, she's like, okay, CAA is on the case or whatever deals, whatever path or whatever, she's going to get her due. And I agree. She's very not charismatic. She's a great storyteller. I hope that she, puts out things or content or has a path that leads her to be sustainable. Because I was thinking about other people that have, social media stars and where are they now? And somebody did a show. Well, not a show. It was on YouTube, and I watched these videos about people who were social media memes and how they were big with the who's it? I'm thinking of the lady with the I can't remember, but they did a whole series about this person did this, that they said a catchphrase or they had a meme and they were good then, and now where are they now? Kind of.
Yeah, absolutely. I think also the thing is to get training in your craft. So it's not just about it's about your body of work. So great, you have this series. That's one thing. So now you need to have other things. You need to pull other people in. You need to have a body of work, and you need to get training in the craft, because this actually is a craft. So the fact that people gravitated toward what you did one time doesn't ensure longevity. So ensure longevity by actually getting training in the craft. So I hope she does that.
Yeah, I do too.
Absolutely. All right. So let's do this one more story, and then I'm going to leave it. I'll put like some more in my feed if anybody's interested. Just when we thought we didn't have the stomach for any more rubbish, here comes Jake Paul, social media Jake Paul, you know him from YouTube, getting ready to fight Mike Tyson in a boxing match that's going to be streamed live on Netflix. This is one of Netflix's most ambitious forays to date. You know that Netflix has really been trying to get their foot in the world of live sports, and this is another attempt to do so. So Mike Tyson is going to go head-to-head with the YouTuber turned fighter Jake Paul in a, quote, mega boxing event that's going to stream live exclusively on Netflix on July 20th. And they announced this actually just yesterday. So they're going to duke it out in AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. That's an 80,000 seat capacity stadium. That's the home of the Dallas Cowboys, for those of you that are Cowboys fans. And as I said, this is very ambitious for Netflix. They're really trying to cement themselves as the premier at-home viewing destination in the United States. And I think they're really basically there, but you can never sleep because your seat is never safe. The company actually reached a 10-year deal for exclusive rights to stream WWE's weekly flagship show, Raw, and that starts in January of next year. This was this deal is valued at more than $5 billion, according to CNBC. So Tyson said this in a statement. I'm very much looking forward to stepping into the ring with Jake Paul at the AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. And I'm just imagining that's probably the way he said it. He's grown significantly as a boxer over the years, so it'll be a lot of fun to see what the will and the ambition of a kid can do with the experience of the aptitude of a GOAT. And by GOAT, greatest of all time. He's referring.
But are you really? Okay.
He is referring to himself. Is he really? Who knows? So Tyson is going to be 58 when this fight streams. He's earned a reputation as a very ferocious fighter for a number of reasons. He's the youngest heavyweight champion in history at 20 years old. He's got
a great appetite.
Yes. He had a run of 37 consecutive victories over his career. Of course, he's had troubling behavior and legal woes. Jake Paul is 27. He was an internet influencer, and then he pivoted in 2020 to boxing. He has a 9-1 record that includes 6 knockouts. And Paul says this, it's crazy to think that in my second pro fight, I went viral for knocking out Nate Robinson on Mike Tyson's undercard. Now, less than 4 years later, I'm stepping up to face Tyson myself to see if I have what it takes to beat one of boxing's most notorious fights and biggest icons. So, for those of you that are interested in watching this chicanery on wheels, it's going to be July 20th on Netflix.
I can tell you, I have a speculation as to why that's happening.
Oh, please tell us.
Because Showtime no longer is doing boxing.
Oh, really?
Oh, I didn't know that.
So therefore, there's a gap.
Yes.
There's a vacuum, a window, or whatever.
Yeah.
The opening. And Netflix said, well,
let's get in there. Smart. And this went viral. Well, I don't know if it went viral, but I found this on X, Twitter, that they had the hashtag he's 57 or something about 57. I was like, what the heck is this hashtag he's 57? So I went into it, and that's how I found out that Mike Tyson is fighting this Jake Paul, and people are like, Mike Tyson's 50, because he said something about his age or something, and like Mike Tyson's gonna eat that dude for lunch. Mike Tyson. And people were saying I wouldn't fight Mike Tyson at any age. I don't care if he was 100, I wouldn't fight him.
Absolutely. I mean, the only thing that may be on Jake Paul's side is the fact that he's been hit so much that there may be something there. But 57 is not old. 58 is not old. And if he's working out every day and really training for this, a 58-year-old,
you should see the video clips that they had of him and his hands and they moving. I was like, Jake, what is that? Jake Paul, whatever. I'm like, dude, you in trouble. Whoopi Goldberg, you in trouble.
Right.
No. So here's another thing about age and because he's 57, but look at his 57. So there's Gen Z thinks, well, they think they trump because of age, and no, sometimes experience and wisdom and training and keeping up and keeping your thing together trumps your age.
But my thing is like, have you looked at 57-year-olds today? Have you looked at 50-year-olds today? They are not the 50-year-olds, etc., of 1865, where
Yeah.
that was like 100. No,
They're thinking the 57 is supposed to look like Biden. Like that's what they think the 57 to this generation. They're like, oh, he should look like Biden. I'm like, did you see this man? He's eating, and this. If you know Mike Tyson, that was his thing. He was his trainer, Customado. That was the thing that he put in him to always be training, to always up it, up it, up it. So it's in here. Even though he's 57 and not 27 anymore, it's still here. So I'm like, okay, that's going to be something. Will it last? Will it last past a round? Will he even do a full round?
Even if not, there's a pretty penny to be made.
Jake Paul he's not just jumping in. He does train. So this is going to be interesting. He does train.
He's a fighter in and of his own right too. He's not a slouch, but I think this is. I don't care I wouldn't want to fight Mike.
I'm just saying,
right? Because Anyway, so Showtime Sports, which had featured boxing as its main driver for 37 years, shut down at the end of 2023.
How popular is boxing still compared to other sports?
It is not like NFL football or NBA basketball, but it is a popular sport amongst.
It feels like it's a popular live sport and a popular sport that people would pay for pay-per-view, which is why so often these things are on pay-per-view.
Right.
In terms of it gathering people around televisions and devices the way basketball and football does, I don't think so.
That is why it shut down, because they saw the shift happening to stream, right? Like DAZN streams it. There's different places that stream it, and nobody would. And Showtime was literally on the cable network. So if the cable network is no longer, then you can see why that's not working. And it says Paramount Global, Showtime's parent company, announced in October that the network sports operation will be dissolved by the end of the year. I was like, because they don't stream, they do television and they do cable at an appointed time, and that's not what we do anymore.
Yeah, I think there's also a thing. Now, this does not mean that it is not so, but sports in and of themselves, besides basketball, many sports in the US tend to skew older anyway. If you think about it, the audience for football tends to be older. Basketball tends to be a little younger, but there's still, a little bit of age there. And so if we're looking at the next generation of who are the sports consumers, they're going to have to look at audience experience to draw people in beyond just the sport themselves, because I can tell you there are probably quite a fair number of Gen Zers that are like sports, unless they play themselves or they're really into it. I don't know. And I could be off the mark here, but this is to me why you see it like a lack of sports content per se on social media. It's there, but not like other content.
Right.
Okay, that's what I have for you.
Well, thank you, Dr. Tachi. And thank you, everybody, who tuned in live and on the replay for this week in Tech Life. TJ will be back with us on Tuesday with some more information to help you grow your business, and with media, social media, and digital marketing. Dr. Tachi, you want to talk about what you got coming up, Doc?
Yes. I'm sorry. That caught me off guard. I was like, yes. Yeah. So Indie Soup Media actually launches on the 25th of this month, which is Yes, a new network dedicated to independent content and independent content creators. And we have a bunch of cool things. So you should start to see things popping up on social media in terms of where you can watch us, etc. And you can watch us on Roku. On the 25th, you'll be able to download the Roku app for your Roku. You can watch us on indiesoupmedia.tv, also on our YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook Live channels you'll be able to watch. And eventually we'll get to the metaverse. But for now, this is where you can watch.
Okay, and that's Indie Soup?
Yes, indiesoupmedia.tv.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna put that somewhere, and that's INDIE, right? Because
correct. INDIESOUP.
Okay, indiesoupmedia.tv. I'm putting that in the chat so we can find you and go check it out. Okay, so we will be back here next week, Monday, and we're going to have some good conversation around coffee and thoughts and things of that nature. Like, again, TJ will be here on Tuesday, Coach Karen on Wednesday, Robin Shimuzu on Thursday, talking happy, healthy habits. Coach Karen talks all about your money. And then on Friday, we'll be right back here again with more Tech Life Weekly. Terry or anybody want to have final comments?
I want to thank everybody for tuning in and hanging in here. And ladies, I want to thank you for all that you contribute. You always bring such value, TJ and Dr. Tachi and Miss Francine. So thank you again for tuning in, everyone, and for hanging in here with us to find out what's happening in the world of tech. Also,
thanks everybody.
Oh, you can join BizChicks by texting biz to 33777 or going to bizchicks.net.
Okay, guys, we're here to help you take the hassle out of your hustle, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Live stream.